If it was Batman '89 that put Batman on the map, this movie put him over the moon. Welcome to my channel, KC, that's me, Carrie Chug, the Sledge Storyteller, here to talk about the wonderful world of storytelling and to open up discussion about how we can tell the best stories we can, talking about superhero movies, everything good and bad from a storytelling standpoint. So, talking about the movie The Dark Knight. In 2005, Batman Begins proved to be a strong success, and at the end when people saw
I'll look into it.
Suddenly their sequel expectations were off the charts, and as had already been the norm, controversy came in the casting. Suddenly the big question was, who would play the Joker? The pick of Heath Ledger came completely out of left field, and the resulting backlash was massive. I myself remember the announcement and thought, I'll wait, because I had no idea just what kind of Joker Ledger would be, and what we got was something I don't even think Nolan was imagining. But more on him later. Some nitpicks, one plot hole I see maybe you can blame on Alice Cooper. Once he hosted a documentary on the History Channel as it was starting to veer away from being all about history, and they were talking about the process of demolishing buildings, and it showed just how much of a long and drawn out process it is setting up all the charges, and getting an understanding of that process made it become a huge strain on my suspension of disbelief that the Joker could inconspicuously set up that kind of thing in a hospital. And I've heard the argument that hinges it all on that line, some men aren't looking for anything logical. And that's fine if it works for you, but all I get out of that is... And I can't help but have the same logistical issue with the explosives rigged on the ferry boats later on. Bale's Batman voice has its worst moments in the Dark Knight trilogy.
Someone knows where he is.
Lastly, we've got Bruce Wayne holding his fundraiser at Wayne Penthouse, and he eventually realizes that the Joker is coming to get Harvey Dent. After knocking him out with a sleeper hold, Bruce hides him in a closet, and this is supposed to leave him out of reach of the Joker. After Joker drops Rachel Dawes out the window, Bruce, now Batman, dives out to rescue her. But the Joker's still up there and needs only to find the closet Harvey was left in, not effectively locked in, and yet when Rachel asks if Harvey's okay, Batman responds,
Safe.
but definitely not all bad if I can stop there. So The Dark Knight is absolute proof that a villain doesn't necessarily have to be conflicted or carry emotional baggage to be engaging. Heath Ledger's Joker is as black hat as they come. He's got the book smarts, street smarts, and to bring everything full tilt, he gets in your face to forcefully challenge the very notion of morality. And every Joker scene, he's the ultimate opportunist. He manipulates everyone to be their most vulnerable. While I can't be entirely sold on the logic, the hospital demolition, and the bomb threat on the two ferry boats, that brings the stakes up massively. While Heath Ledger, may he rest in peace, gave us the best live-action portrayal ever, we can say that this is the most dangerous form of Joker, because here we have a violent villain with lots of resources who wreaks violent havoc, knowing that eventually he will get caught, so he'll bring out all of the violence he possibly can until that actually happens, knowing he can look back with gratification over how much suffering he created. Almost as engaging as the villain who does carry complexity, Two-Face, brilliantly portrayed by Aaron Eckhart. Not enough of a downer to be included in the bad. I kinda wish they had Harvey Dent in Batman Begins rather than Carl Finch to do more to build him up for this fall from grace at the end of this movie. But we still get a good feel for Harvey as Gotham's White Knight. He's tough as nails, his principles are high, yet with Bruce's old flame Rachel as his current flame, we learn that it gets high stakes. So here we start seeing Harvey's pillar of virtue start to crumble. But when the Joker imperils the life of Harvey and Rachel in the worst way, Batman only manages to save Harvey before he is scarred on the outside and on the inside. Now, Harvey Two-Face, as a man with split personality, mentally compelled by whatever his coin flip yields, is not what we get here. So Nolan makes a serious gamble with his different angle where Two-Face lets the coin flip function as judge and jury. I feel it's compelling, and I've never heard any complaints among my peers, fanboys around me on pop culture message boards, or fellow YouTubers in their reviews on The Dark Knight on that. Aaron Eckhart's portrayal is compelling and intense with effectively forceful reasoning. Now, how did Christian Bale do in his second outing as the Dark Knight? Overall, in spades, as in easy to look past his sour notes of dialogue. And one line that takes a lot of affectionate jabs is,
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
and I don't see that as Batman making a wisecrack hockey pads. That's just Batman so zoned in on his own outlook on things that it doesn't occur to him that this line would come across as dry humor. And by that token, I think that's an awesome line. While we get a very low-key shirtless moment, we can see that Bale came into production in the same great shape as he did in Batman Begins. As Bruce Wayne, we see the Playboy angle as well. We see him just as determined to bring down crime, but we also see a light on the horizon where Harvey Dent will be the answer to crime in Gotham, where the city will no longer need Batman, and the promise from Rachel would be realized as the two of them would settle down together then. Here we get some vulnerability and the need for comfort through companionship. It's a whole other wrinkle when Joker leaves Bruce with few options that bring him to the brink. It's common knowledge that Bruce escapes having to announce that he is Batman to stop the Joker from killing, but here we see Batman finding himself overwhelmed with Joker's mind games that push him to try to beat the needed information out of him. But while Ledger Joker is the ultimate player, Bale's Batman brings supreme intensity to the scene. By all indications, Bale is handling the majority of the fight stunts and the fight scenes in the parking terrace, in Hong Kong, Salvatore Maroni's club, and my big favorite, the Pruitt Construction Building, all satisfy the appetite for action. Whenever he's Batman, he's strictly business, and Nolan makes all the right moves to put him to the test, to bring him to commit high felonies, you might say, with his phone hacking surveillance, to stall Two-Face to flip the coin to determine guilt, and sacrifice his own reputation to preserve Harvey Dent's reputation, saying that it should be declared that Batman committed all the murders that we know Harvey had committed, and keep his initiative against crime alive. It transcends far beyond the basic good guys versus bad guys story. We see Batman make difficult decisions, Harvey's drive in fighting the war on crime becoming distorted into personal vendetta, and in the traditions set by such films as The Empire Strikes Back and Batman Returns, of the first sequel ending up with the good guys licking their wounds coming into play. The Dark Knight takes that to a whole new level. But that's my take on The Dark Knight. Thanks for watching. Agree, disagree, something I left out? Please let me know in the comment section. If you like this video, please click like. If you like this channel, please click subscribe or follow me on Instagram. As always, the link to order Sledge number 1 and 2 is in the description below through indieplanet.com in both digital and paper formats, or digital and paper formats of just Sledge number 1 on Kindle. Production for Sledge number 3 is still underway, and we'll get that out as soon as we can with the best quality possible. I'll keep saying it, Let's all look for stability amid all the hate that's out there. Let's look for friends. Let's not look for enemies. Let's try to see the value in each person as a human being. Let everyone be safe, and God bless.